Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be going over FIREClean. This stuff's all over the forums lately, talking about how well it just cleans stuff up, lubricates, all that jazz. So what we're going to be testing in it, we're going to test it in 3 guns. We're going to test it in this 1911 Springfield loaded that you see right here. We're going to also test it in a Glock 23 that you see coming up next. And we're also going to test it in an AR-15, of course, SBR'd one, which tends to get a little more carbon fouling. So that's what's up today. And so stay tuned. We're going to shoot a bunch of rounds through it, see if we have any failures that we can attribute to lubrication, and then we'll show you how it cleans up and how it lubricates the guns. When I told my followers on Facebook that I was going to be testing out the FIREClean, the thing they wanted tested was cold, so cold weather conditions. Out here today it's about 50 degrees, maybe 45. And I have a Glock 23 that's been sitting in my freezer overnight, as you can see there in that footage. And it's packed in ice here. We'll go ahead and see how it does once we take it out and shoot it, see how it does with that cold. Let's see. It's definitely still frozen. There you go. I think it did just fine. FIREClean says they do a lot of things. Clean, lubricate, protect, all that stuff. But the clean that draws a lot of people to them is the fact that they say that their product prevents carbon from actually adhering to the surface of your weapons parts. So what you have to do to prep it, and what I did for all of these guns, is just wipe everything down with alcohol, get all that oil out of there, then put your coats of FIREClean on there. And they do have video on their website, on their YouTube channel, excuse me, which I'll put a link to in the description of how to do it. But basically just wipe it down, apply your FIREClean, and then get to work. And that's what we did here. So what they say that does is that layer of FIREClean sort of suspends the carbon and prevents that carbon from actually adhering to your weapons parts. So up next we're going to go ahead and take apart these guns and see if it wipes down like they claim. Here's the upper receiver with the bolt carrier group all disassembled. The first thing I noticed, just looking at the outside of it, the carrier and the bolt, it doesn't look as dirty as I would expect for as many rounds are through there. So I guess that's kind of a good thing, saying that they suspend the carbon. Perhaps it does. I'll take a paper or towel here because that's what FIREClean recommends, and we'll just wipe it down. Again, this is no additional FIREClean being applied, so we'll see how that does. See if it actually does wipe clean, as they say. Now, really anything's going to wipe a lot of this stuff out there off, but you can see there, it's pretty darn clean with the exception of a little bit of buildup on the tail cap. Now, they do claim that putting a little extra on there, working it around, letting it sit for a minute does help, so we'll do that. Because as you saw there, it was a little bit dry looking when I pulled it out. So we'll let that sit, and we'll work on the bolt carrier group, or the carrier, excuse me, next. And it does appear that it is wiping off very clean. So good news there. And next up, we'll tackle charging handle. Get in there a little bit. I realize this is not the most exciting video. I get that. But we got to test out their claims. So that's what they say it'll do. Looks like it's doing it so far. Now we'll take a look here at that bolt. Now that we let that sit for a minute or two and see how it works. Yeah, there you go. It does appear that it is working as advertised. Not sure how well that shows up on camera there, but it's pretty much all gone, all the crud that was built up. So, probably won't need much scraping there. We'll tackle the chamber next. I'll put a little FIREClean on there. You guys see there how it looks beforehand. We'll run this through here. They say you can use Q-tips, which as many of you guys know you can, but I like this little polymer pick and a rag. But we'll see how it does, and definitely pull some crap out of there. So, I'll keep wiping that around. And after this, I'll upload a shot as well, so you guys can see how that looks, how it turned out. As you just saw in the AR when we were cleaning it, it does a good job. Things wipe off, generally speaking. We had to apply a little bit more of that bolt tail, but everybody knows that tail's kind of a pain in the butt. But after that, it wiped off just fine. Chamber was clean. It works out pretty much as advertised. Now, one thing that is kind of hard to quantify in a video is just the slickness. This one's been re-lubricated with FIREClean, ready for the next range trip, but I'm not sure how well it'll come across here on camera, but let me just run it here. So, it's super slick. It actually almost feels like you have It almost feels like you have a nickel boron upper receiver in there, but obviously I don't. Just a standard Palmetto State Armory Premium BCG and then a PSA upper as well. But it does a good job there. It's very slick. It stays on there. So those are all the good things. It is odorless. It's non-toxic, so your wife will approve, which is always important. Made in the USA, again, important. Now the downside of it is it's relatively expensive. So that little bottle, I believe it's 2 ounces that you guys saw earlier, comes on market right around $15. There's various places it's available. I know AIM Surplus has it, as well as other websites. But relatively expensive, $15 versus, say your CLP or motor oil. Is it worth it to you to be able to clean your weapon? Maybe. That's the choice you guys are going to have to make. But as you've seen here in the test, it does seem to work. It does seem to live up to all its claims. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about FIREClean, anything else I talk about here on the channel, feel free to post below in the comments section. You can also post over at my Facebook page as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. And I hope to see all of you in the next video.